Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in today's AFK journey video, I'm going to talk about resonance synergy, which is I'll say like a feature that unlocks for most of the late game players because the game is about 1 month old. So the very first batch of players who have completed story as well as cleared up all their AFK challenges will unlock this feature. For those of you guys who are just new to the game, it will take quite a while before you guys unlock it because this thing only unlocks after you have all units at level 240. So for those of you guys who have unlocked it, this is how it looks like for most of you guys. A certain level from 240 to 300, right, slash 300. So there's also a power change for you guys. So there's actually a stats increase for all your units from resonance level 240 to resonance level 300. So this is an increase in basic stats, and the increase in basic stats will affect all the game modes. So obviously some of the units or some of the players will have higher damages in Dream Realm even if you have the same quality, because they might have a slightly higher resonance synergy. Because from higher resonance synergy, they get a bit more basic stats and then they're able to do more damage or survive better. But this basic stats increase stops at level 300, hence the slash 300. Because if we go into my main account, as you guys can see, I'm at resonance level 357 and the level up only give me 100 gems, right? I don't get any sort of power ups. So after 300, right, the basic stats doesn't increase anymore, but there's one stat within the character that increases every resonance synergy level, and that is proficiency. So this is the level for the viewer that sent me the screenshot, and this is the proficiency stat of his torrent at level 268, right? So this is a Supreme Plus torrent. So this proficiency is 340. Okay, so take note of the number. Now we go into my main account and then we go into my own torrent. This is my proficiency level at 431. So basically I have a higher proficiency level because my torrent is slightly higher in terms of tier as well as higher in terms of resonance synergy. So proficiency stat is basically a stat that determines the effectiveness of your character skills. If your proficiency is lower than the enemy's level, then the effect of some of your skills will be weakened. So if you're a tank, your tanking skill will weaken. If you're a DPS, your DPS output skills will be weakened, so on and so forth. So this proficiency stat is not so important for most low and mid spenders because it matters for, I'll say, like the whales or the hardcore players trying to push through their harder contents. And the harder content right now in the game is mainly Trial of Abyss. As you guys can see, the levels of the enemy units is at level 466. So even with my torrent at the 400 plus proficiency, it's still considered weakened skill. So by having a lower proficiency number than the levels of my enemy, the skills of my units become weaker, hence making some of these harder contents harder to clear, right? So this is one way they increase the difficulty, by giving the enemies a very high level. So this makes your proficiency stats lower, and then you lose some of your skills numbers or your abilities compared to the 100% power. So most of the time, right, I'll say in terms of resonance synergy, it doesn't really matter for most free-to-play or mid-spender because it is more for players who are actively pushing through Trial of Abyss, at least at the current stage of the game, because anything beyond 300 doesn't give you more stats, so it doesn't benefit your game modes such as Dream Realm, Arcane Labyrinth, and Legend Trial. But it does affect game modes such as Arena as well as Trial of Abyss. So higher resonance level gives you a higher proficiency number, and then your skills can have higher effects against some of these tougher challenges. And on top of that, right, if you go into the rules, your heroes will gain extra bonuses based on their resonance level in Trial of Abyss. So if you have a higher resonance level, your units get more bonuses, making it easier for you to clear through Trial of Abyss. So if you're a free-to-play player or a light or mid spender, you can actually, play the game slowly, just level up your resonance level, and then once you get your resonance level up, you can just go back to Trial of Abyss and retry multiple times with the same comp, and eventually, if your resonance level is high enough, you will be able to push through Trial of Abyss eventually, right? So it matters more towards the spenders as well as the more hardcore players, because they will be actively pushing through the floors to compete for the ranks itself. And that is where right, having higher resonance level will be beneficial because higher resonance level increases your proficiency, making it such that your proficiency deficit is lower and then allowing you to push through some of the contents with maybe like a less optimal team. Right, so this is what I mean by proficiency deficit, in case you guys do not get it or you guys didn't catch it in my previous video. So this proficiency deficit only really kicks in for 12 Abyss because this is the harder content and the difficulty is scaled because of the increase in levels for the enemies itself. Okay, so that's for the Resonance Synergy as well as 12 Abyss. The other place where Resonance Synergy actually affects your levels or stats in one way or another is actually Arena. So over here, right, everyone will have a baseline stats of 150 as you guys can see here, and heroes whose level surpasses this baseline will gain extra levels equals to 10% of the excess levels. Okay, so this excess levels doesn't affect the high level skills you have unlocked, but I think it does affect stats to a certain extent because every level increase from 151 should give you additional stats. So my level right now is 171. If I go into my formation right here, as you guys can see, I'm level 171. So 357 minus 151 is 206. So 10% of 206 is 20.6, and that gives me 20 levels on top of the level 151 baseline. So that's why my arena units is at 171. So every 10 level will give you one additional level in arena, and that could actually change the tides for the more hardcore players. So that's why I mentioned just now that Resonance Synergy doesn't really affect like the F2P or mid to light spender because you're probably not going to compete at the highest level. So the Resonance Synergy increase doesn't really affect you that much unless you really want to compete with the bigger boys out there, right? So that's something for you guys to take note of. And in terms of Resonance Synergy, right now there's actually a level cap because the Resonance Synergy max level increases by 5 for every Supreme Plus unit you have. So the game has 45 units that can go all the way up to Supreme Plus. So that's roughly about 500, right? 500 max level for anyone who's able to unlock all the units to Supreme Plus right now. But from my knowledge right now, there's nobody that's able to reach that max level yet, because if you take a look at the amount of hero essence required, this is an insane amount to actually upgrade. So every level increase for Resonance Synergy, right, will take quite a bit. Even though recently they gave us the final push to give us more hero essence, but it will still take quite a while for me to even reach Resonance Synergy level 400. So based on my current knowledge, I think the highest Resonance Synergy level in the game right now is in PTR server 1. It's somewhere in the 360 range because they have a lot of time to accumulate hero essence, so they have a lot of essence stocked up, and this gave them quite a high Resonance Synergy. So Resonance Synergy is something which takes quite a while to build up. Even if you're a whale, there isn't really a lot of packages that sells hero essence, so the highest level right now is not even 400, right? So don't believe in those kind of bullshit that, you know, some people is able to achieve the max level, because the max level is about 500 plus, but because the cost of upgrading is so high, the highest level right now is only 360 or maybe 370 plus for the older server in the game, which is PTR server 1. So I'm in PTR server 2. For myself, I'm at 357. I think right, give me a moment. I think my server's highest is probably 360 because there's a guy that's at arena level 172. Yeah, give me a moment, let me just refresh. Yeah, this guy, right? So this guy in my server is probably a little bit higher than me because his level is 172. So this means that his Resonance Synergy is at least 361. So he's probably the highest in my server, and that's what I mean by the highest level is only 36 something across the board. Because if PTR is only 36 something, I don't think there's other servers that could be higher because they have way more time to accumulate their hero essence resources compared to everyone else. So yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Resonance Synergy is not something which I think the free-to-play or low-mid spender will be too concerned about, because any stats beyond 300 is for pushing of 12 Abyss as well as being super competitive in arena. So your goal for most of you guys will be get to get to 300, right, to get the max power boost for your basic stats. And then after that, just take your time and chill to level up the resonance synergy so you can go back and attempt your Trial of Abyss, power up your arena account for you to have a slightly higher level, right, against your opponent to have a little bit of advantage. And that's pretty much it. So as far as I can see right now, resonance synergy is more so for Trial of Abyss and arena. And that's pretty much, I guess, the things that you guys need to know. So hopefully this video is able to answer everything with regards to your doubts. There's no infinite levels. The max level for the game, the max level in terms of the resonance synergy is at most 37 something, max, okay? And nobody is 400 yet, and nobody is at max level yet, and there's no infinite stats. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.